Welcome to the Rustenburg Memorial Conversations, Commemorating Emancipation Day.
UCT, through the Buildings Committee and through the excavation of the new buildings, discovered that we have a slave burial ground on the middle campus. As such, we were thinking of ways as UCT, how do we memorialize, commemorate this space?
And a series of meetings over 2 years examined all of these options, from the details of how close could you build the building to the cemetery wall without causing offense. So some of them were very pragmatic and practical architectural and issues and sensitivity, to the issues of what is the best way to represent and to take this history forward.
So the Vice-Chancellor's office asked HICU, the HIV Inclusivity and Change Unit, to think about the event for the university that would start and begin the process. So we organized a seminar, which is the part that we have today, as well as starting to think about a proposal about commemorating the space, which participants were invited to partake in.
We're now going to send out to, particularly inside of the university community, and also outside, be inviting artists, curators, to think about how we might use the space downstairs in the economics building and this reflection garden. And this document will give you a background to what this space is all about. We're hoping that by next year this time that we'll remember the space on the space. That we might be able to have an event actually in the garden, and that the garden would be then been designed and created in such a way that we're doing justice to what the space is in a university.
What is the nature of our responsibility to the dead? Why do we feel responsible? How do we honor them, and when? Do we honor some more sincerely, reverently, and insistently than others? A starting point in responding to these types of questions would be to admit that one of the major reasons why we feel responsible to the dead, on whose graves we dwell in turn, is that the dead are never simply confined to the past. As memory, the dead remain alive in the ghostly form of the memory in the present, and as such, undeniably influence and contribute to how we ethically recognize their influence on the present.
Well, we basically considered the question of the memorialization of the Rustenburg slave burial site in the context of what is going on in the world, in post-apartheid South Africa, our global condition, which seems to depend on a very particular way of dealing with space. And that way of dealing with space is through demarcation, separation, by way of physical structures. So it was significant to us that what was memorialized here already is in fact the remains of a wall once again. So the wall keeps figuring in this consideration of the space, how the space is dealt with, and how we deal with an authentic idea of post-apartheid living, of post-apartheid togetherness, and not simply a perpetuation of the spatial legacies that so starkly marked apartheid.
The main purpose is to give recognition and acknowledgement, as well as the memories of these exiles and slaves that are buried here. It's also very important for the students to know what happened in the past, so that it doesn't happen again.
So there's a number of ways that students can get involved. We would like them to definitely put in a proposal for how to memorialize the space. We'd also like them to think about what are the kind of campaigns we should be doing from an SRC, from a student leadership perspective on the campus.